Good evening, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Beacon here with the Stream Punks, our Alien ttrpg actual play. It's good to see everybody. We don't have an Eliza tonight. Take care of yourselves. Eliza's done that favor for us, and we appreciate her for that. We're going to go ahead and be kicking things off here where we left off last week in a very relaxing situation, as I love to joke all the time with this damn game. Before we do, some quick announcements. I don't have anything right off the top. Do you guys have any announcements tonight that you need to let our Aux crew and everyone else know about?
Yes, actually, I do.
All right.
So I'm taking part in supporting two very awesome charities this month. The first one is Living Arts. It is helping it's helping a facility in Michigan that helps kids learn by teaching them art. Unfortunately, they've been given less than 30 days to move from their location, which is terribly unfortunate. So we are doing what we can to help them raise money. So keep an eye on my Twitter. I'll be hell diving, I'll be Baldur's Gating, I'll be doing the whole shebang, and I'm even bringing back an old show on my channel, Goo Crew, where just a bunch of me and my friends watch a bunch of YouTube videos. It's really funny. And then the other one is, of course, Take This. They're trying to raise $200,000 before June. I'm being joined by a number of channels to try and get them to do that. So for the first 2 weeks of the month, it's going to be Live Arts, and then the second is going to be Take This. So if you are able to help, please do. They're two very amazing charities, and we need to add a little bit more good in the world. Thank you.
Good pitch. You said Helldivers, and I was like, yeah. I was like, did someone say democracy? That's what I heard. All right.
We're losing ground to the bots. All right.
All right. Thank you, Noir. Does anybody else have anything they'd like to announce?
Noir has one more announcement.
I do.
Yes, you do,
Thank
Noir.
You're so on top of it. Tomorrow we get to continue with issue 2 of the Tales of Big B and Dash in our I am so excited. I've actually been doing so much reading on the Marvel system, and it's capable of doing so many more cool things that I wasn't aware of the first time we ran it. So if you are a supporter, please come and check it out tomorrow. I've got a heck of an adventure. Daredevil will be showing back up, and I've been watching a lot of the new X-Men cartoons, so we might be seeing some mutants, as we've discovered that Big B and Dash have a cat that seems to have the X gene. So we'll see what goes on with that. So please support the Stream Punk so you can see what's going to happen with this mutant cat that may or may not be based on my 2 kids.
Amazing. I just want to go ahead and go on record here and just call myself out in front of everybody here on Twitch watching right now, that when Sam nudged Noir just now, I almost fell back into some default language that I have been wise enough not to use anymore. I almost was in reference to Sam keeping us together and organized. I almost said Sam keeps us straight. Which I can't think of a more insulting thing to say.
Blasphemy, actually. I can't believe you'd even.
I know, and I'm sorry.
It's all good though. One time you said, I keep him on the queer and narrow, and
yes, I'm trying to get better at that. My
soul is fed for months.
I'm adapting. I'm adapting. Okay. I believe Sam, do you have anything you'd like to say about science and stuff?
Caitlin, do you have anything?
I'm just snowed in this week, so send enrichment to my enclosure, I guess.
Send enrichment. Don't forget to feed your Caitlin. Just don't do it after midnight.
Yeah.
May I recommend some excellent charity initiatives to watch. But okay, yes, I can also say words and things. But perhaps starting with a question, genuine, non-rhetorical, to the class. Y'all know what about Bananas, the monoculture menace?
Naturally. Yes. No.
Because bananas are incredibly limited in their genetic diversity. They are super susceptible to this fungus that's just absolutely wrecking house on them, and in general, like it's a whole problem that some people have heard of. Fewer know that the oranges are in danger. We have to save the oranges. Moreover, we had to find out what makes oranges taste orange, so that while we're saving them, we don't actually accidentally make them taste really sad. So, if you want to learn more about the science of saving the oranges, check out my YouTube. It's live now, youtube.com/@delevely, DELEVELY, for the latest episode of May Contain Science. Definitely contains oranges.
Sam, question.
Yo.
It's true that oranges are not oh wait, no, maybe it's lemons. Which one is it that's actually a cross between two and that is not a naturally occurring? Which one is that?
Well, so what does it mean to be naturally occurring?
Indeed.
Really?
Indeed.
But you're correct. Sweet oranges are the product of a pomelo and a mandarin who loved each other very much.
Oh, bless them.
Yeah.
Love is love, y'all. Okay.
Yeah.
With that, I think we can go ahead and jump into tonight's episode of Beacon.
I'm excited.
And welcome back to Beacon. Look at this. Look at this little creature. How am I supposed to run a horror game when you're giving us this? How are you fluffifying this stream?
I needed to introduce him because you all might hear him wailing through the stream.
Okay, so tonight, the part of not cute, scary background noise will be played by
that's scary.
Ye old fluffy quadruped. All right. Well, as we try to take our inclination to spend the next 15 minutes talking about that adorable creature that deserves all of our love and praise, I'm going to bring us all back to CJ329 Jinx Colony, where you have all settled down in what would appear to be some possible pirate action that has been taking place here. At least possible was the situation when you first arrived in system. Of course, now that you're planet side and getting a snapshot of what's going on down here, definite pirate action. Though there are some inconsistencies. If you remember from last week, there's a lot of strange unanswered questions. The setup to this entire situation seems odd and dangerous, but certainly the full truth has not made itself known just yet. There's a lot of questions being asked about the state of the pirates, where they are in the facility, where everyone else is. There's also a couple of questionable characters that's drawing some suspicion. Right now, you have been introduced to Nathan Kelly. He is the senior project manager here at Jinx Research and one of the lower ranking execs for Weyland-Yutani. He has authority and autonomy over this facility itself and is acting on behalf of company interests. Now, that being said, as a reminder to the audience, because the audience might wonder why certain things are happening why certain things aren't happening, like punching this guy in the face, for example, it is worth pointing out that unlike a D&D game and running into a merchant somewhere in a town, Weyland-Yutani is immensely powerful, and corporations have an immense amount of power. And somebody who works for Weyland-Yutani could make things very difficult for everyone, and actually is quite good at exerting his authority. The characters in world have to live with this disgusting, super mega post modern capitalism dystopian reality that is the alien universe. This is being exerted by Nathan Kelly, who has kind of exerted his authority and shown a little bit of disdain for the initiative that the crew of the Elios is trying to show in dealing with the situation that's at hand. He, of course, is coming from a place of like, whoa, slow down. He's been acting very unhelpful. Then you have Tomoichi Nakamura, who is the facility security chief. He's been a little more forthcoming, but he seems quiet and he's very difficult to read. In fact, last game, as a quick reminder, you guys attempted to get some kind of surface read on Nakamura to find out what his situation was and how he was taking everything. And you didn't get anything. You just got that he was razor focused right now. Laser focused, I should say. I like using razor, but laser focused and is not giving up anything. No one exactly knows what his deal is, but he seems to have expressed a distrust for Kelly, has waited until Manager Kelly was not nearby and kind of whispered in that I think something is going on with this guy, and I don't know if we can trust him. Then there's Dr. Lucas Brown, who is the scientist you were all sent here to pick up. He is a 37-year-old geologist and oceanographer, both, and is caught in the middle of all this. He was literally stationed here temporarily for a couple of days, waiting for a ride from the Elios to take him back to Beacon, where he is waiting for the mother mission to arrive. And was just in the wrong place at the wrong time. He has been as helpful as he can be, but it is clear from his nervous anxieties, his tics and whatnot, that he is not feeling he's not feeling in control and is a little difficult to sort of calm down. Everything he said comes with a nervous energy. Well, fine, Noir. I mean, there's so many other games I guess Noir would rather be playing right now than continuing Beacon. That's fine. I mean, that's yeah, Noir went to play Helldivers too. That's exactly what just happened. He's like, I'm out.
Did it just go ghost? Is he actually?
He probably ghosted again, yes. And not in a negative sense. We've been having a tech issue where Noir is here but not here. So he's probably screaming right now and we can't hear him. So it is actually setting the mood for a horror game. So that's the situation. You have all offloaded the Elios and decided to join us again, have you? Decided we're good enough for you, have you?
Yeah, I was like, oh,
we joked that you were going to play Helldivers too. Noir was like, I'm out.
I was this close.
I'm out.
No, I'm kidding.
So that is the situation currently here on the Jinx research facility. The one last detail to leave in. You guys have met up with this crew of the research station because they managed to escape the pirates who have pressed into the research facility itself. Now, the map that I gave you, it's still on the Discord channel, so you'll be able to see it. I did share it with the audience. So if you guys are subscribers to the Stream Punks, you'll be able to see it on our coffee account. The map is quite confusing. It is just basically a big blueprint with a not you are here. But to give you an idea of where you are all standing in the quadrant that you are all in, it is the first square to the far left middle. Let me rephrase that. That's very confusing. It is the first square in the left in the center. Do you know what I mean? On the tic-tac-toe board, it's one down.
Left to right, 1, 2, 3.
Yep.
4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Which one?
Yeah. So if it goes 1, 2, 3, you're 1.
1. Okay.
In quadrant 2, if that makes sense. So the second row, quadrant 1. Follow me?
Okay, so number 4.
So what you know is that they tried, the pirates pressed into the facility, and you guys, from what they have told you, as they were pressing in to take the facility, they tried to lead the staff in a route around the facility to get out. They ended up getting cut off. And so they ended up making a run for it when a firefight broke out. Security held the ground to try to get people to escape, and they were under the impression security was right behind them pushing people through because they got pushed through. And what they discovered was they were the only ones that made it through. So they don't know what the status is of the hostages right now. They don't know if they're holed up or hold down. They have heard occasional shouting and gunfire, but nothing else. What's curious is no one has tried to leave the facility, and it's been a couple of days. So that's one mystery that is currently plaguing you all right now, is what's going on inside the facility. Also, security cameras and all the feeds have been cut, so there's no way of knowing where everyone is. The second mystery is the second pirate ship, which charged after you all as soon as you entered system and hasn't been seen or heard from since. And your pilot was adamant that that was something you should look out. It makes sense. Connor warned everybody that it's very likely whoever missed you guys is going to turn around and head back down. And it's been well over the time limit in which you could have expected them. So they're either out there searching the stars still or question mark.
There were reports of fighting between the pirates before the ship left.
Mm-hmm. You have heard that. You also know that the woman that is running this pirate gang, you're not too sure about her, who she is, but she sounds like she wants something from someone. That clue got dropped as well. She's making demands, but it's been very vague. And she seems they expected her to come charging in here with her crew to rob the facility, and they haven't left. Now, you guys didn't get a full checkup on the ship. You did manage to access the computers that they have outside. And I'll give you this much because I think this is something you would have probably seen when you gained access. But their fuel, they're not buster fuel. They can absolutely fly out of here if they want, and they haven't left. So there's a lot of questions that need to be answered. And we are picking up where we left off. You guys are currently in those offices that are at the front of the facility. There is a large barricade of desks, chairs, and whatnot that have been piled up in the corridor. Keep in mind, the corridor is large enough to drive a small truck through. It looks like it's designed that if there are samples or anything being brought back, they can literally be backed into the facility, probably taken to some of the processing areas and whatnot, but not very far because the corridors here branch off. So it looks like it's probably one of those situations where it's used for docking. So it's wide enough to accommodate for a large group of people moving side by side, but it branches off rather quickly, as you can see in the blueprint. And it becomes your standard, like, nightmarish, like checkered corridor run space. But that is where we are starting off right now. So,
all right.
What would you all like to do right now? Martha, who just as a quick audience share tonight, I'm going to be playing Martha, and for anything else that goes beyond that in dangerous situations, should they arise, that will be handed over to Noir. So but yes, the quadrant that I have referred you all to that has the double doors on both sides, you'll see that it looks like a tic-tac-toe board. The upper left, where it almost looks like there is a fuel canister, it almost looks like a miniature warp core, really. But it's in the upper left part of that particular square. You'll see yes, correct. That is that office. Do you see that door? There's that office. Basically, that is where a lot of the materials that you guys have seen in the holo projections about like that's where the transmission was sent from, to give you an idea of where you guys are. So you've managed to access Mother from there and the holographic projection and given some more details, but that's the situation. You guys are currently located right there. So from that.
So we are currently in the quadrant.
I'm sorry, hold on 1 sec. Give me 1 second.
Non-end? What happens when you divide them into 9?
I accidentally clicked the play button on the Spotify that Caitlin posted in the Discord, and then all of a sudden music started blowing my eardrums out and I couldn't stop it. So I had to close Discord. Sorry, continue if you would please, Sam.
Yes, doing terrible things to innocent eardrums that didn't deserve it is my job. So we're currently left middle. Is that the sector whence we entered? Okay. And have they yet pointed us? So, okay, I suppose the rest of it one can infer in character. All right.
I do recall, like,
You're hard to mute here.
Oh.
Nope, still. The opposite of busting our eardrums out.
We have silenced him. Now we have all the power.
Oh no, I'm not a GM.
No, I'm just kidding.
Please no.
We run wild. Run out through the facility. I start hitting people.
Honestly,
Which ones? I don't know.
now that I've built Martha, I don't know that I want to go back to Doc. I might trade Elisa.
Oh my, that would be
Don't you dare.
so fun.
But I'm so buff here. don't make me go back.
Okay,
Oh,
There we are.
Yeah, there we go.
yeah, that's bizarre because I was getting levels and everything, and
Ooh, spooky.
I know why it stopped and nothing changed, so I have no idea why it came back on.
Your sound is also ghosting.
Yeah,
Stream is so
Very,
haunted
very
tonight, you
haunted.
guys.
yeah. Sorry, everyone. Let's continue. So, what were you? I'm sorry, Nora. What were you asking?
I'll say, if I recall correctly, last episode the project manager kind of went off on his own to an office,
Mhm.
and I was wondering if Doc could head in that same area.
Yes.
All right.
Mhm.
So yeah, that's where Doc is gonna be going.
Okay, the offices, as you can see, are just right there. So walking in, they're quite small. Now, it does have what looks like a separation by wall, but in fact, in this particular room, those are small dividers, but that is in fact one big room. So as you step into that room, you will find Manager Kelly is there, and it looks like he's accessing Mother at this particular moment and looking a little frustrated.
I think we got off on the wrong foot, and I wanted to come and make amends.
That's very good of you. Thank you.
I understand what the burden of keeping this all together and also still doing your job. It's got to weigh heavy on you, and having a bunch of outsiders coming and snapping their fingers, telling you what's for. That ain't right.
Honestly, the frustration comes from the fact that there are people's lives at danger, but the facility also helps these people have lives. So I have to protect both. And that is my job. And I understand that my employer doesn't have the best reputation considering the past, 10 years or so. But the truth of the matter is that doesn't change our circumstances. I have to look after company property, and lawfully, so do you.
Of course. And I came in all cowboyed out, and that wasn't right of me. And I want to one, make sure that you understand that I cede to your authority. I will do my very best to make sure that this facility and everybody in it stays whole, and whatever you want to have happen will happen. You still run this show.
Do me a favor.
Mhm.
And I'd like Doc to roll manipulation.
Cool. I'm glad you mentioned that, because I'm using my ability,
Yes.
trustworthy. You have a trustworthy face and smile, and people warm to you. Gain a +2 modification to manipulation test when you're trying to gain someone's trust.
Okay.
Alrighty, so let's go ahead and do this manipulation. Then we're gonna go ahead and I am stressed. I forgot about that little tidbit.
Don't forget, you've got some stress dice.
I've got three stress dice that we're adding to this. Here we go.
And that is after Tig used banter.
Mm-hmm. That is one success.
One success. Okay.
And it was on the stress die.
that is a genius mechanic of the alien system that I really appreciate. Is the stress die really is just they're gambling, is what it is.
Yeah.
Okay, 1 second. Because when it comes to rolling manipulation checks like this, it actually comes down to a contested roll against an NPC. So that is what we are going to have here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah. All right. 1 second here.
Is it
Okay.
too late to use the story die?
No, it is not too late because
like.
it's too late when I roll.
Okay, then
Yeah.
before you roll, I would very much like that. I would like my safety blanket of
Especially with only 3 of you tonight. I applaud you
Mhm.
for using your story points. We have 8 for the evening. So let's mark down. This one comes from Duran452.
Hey, Duran, thank you out. You're really
Duran keeping the...
Save us. Save us.
Save us,
Save our
Duran.
lives. Save our ass kissing.
Duran, help me.
I see what you did there. God, now I want to listen to Duran.
What did I do?
Yeah. Okay. So I'm going to make a quick roll here, and we will see how this unfolds. Oh, look at that! I actually made this into a character sheet. The character generator on the Alien Nexus is a lot of fun.
It really is.
I must say.
We're out of our EVA suits, right?
No, I'm assuming you are all still in your EV suits. So you can have the helmets off, of course. Of course. So but taking off the EV suit is going to take a moment.
I only asked because I was down 1 air, so I think I'm good on
Oh, you don't have to track that this time. Yeah.
Okay.
And you can actually, if so long as you give me the heads up that you are doing it, you can replenish your air easily while you were in here.
I would like very much to do that.
Okay, that's going to be easy enough to achieve. So let's see. This is going to be, yep. All right. This is an...
Forgetting stuff like that is how you die.
Yes. Frankly, yes. Okay, so this is an observation.
And dying's like being in a video call where nobody can see you.
We accidentally played the worst prank ever on
Or I guess
Noir?
Yes.
So how many successes did you get after spending a story point?
2.
Okay. He nods, looking like he genuinely appreciates what you just said, and you can see a little bit of, you can see him relax a little bit. He just says, "I appreciate that. I really do. You're the captain of the crew, is that right?"
Captain of the Elios, finest bison in the, well, not sky, finest bison in the void.
Great, but let's make this formal then. Let's start over. I'm Manager Kelly of Jinx Colony.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Captain. And thank you so much for responding to the distress call that our very clever scientists managed to send out. We have limited range on what's left. I've been sending SOSs for a while, but thankfully our scientists got lucky with the transmissions. Thank you for coming and for... I'm sorry, I have to ask, and I was trying to ask this earlier before the other one got really unnecessarily antagonistic with me. You're not a...
Gemini? No, I'm a Leo.
No. A rescue group? Your my understanding was that Beacon was the Red Cross.
Yeah, we function alongside the UN. We're a third party, just trying to do a little bit of space where people can easily get forgotten.
Don't get me wrong. You all seemed... I did notice that you had a Colonial Marine with you, and the other one was wielding a very large gun. Do any of you have any experience with hostage negotiations? Anything like that?
Well, I can tell you the truth, or I can tell you, well, put your mind at ease.
I understand.
Which would you prefer?
I think you just told me the truth. Well, all right. What do you plan on doing? What do we do here?
To be quite frank with you, we start with the conversation. We got to see what they want, see what state they're in, do what we can to not antagonize them, but to see their perspective on things. And if there is a way to handle this civilly, then we will do just that.
Okay. I'm sorry to interrupt. I just wanted to offer. I just wanted to offer a possible alternative. Just thinking out loud here, but if I could get a transmission out, I could call for help from my company. Weyland-Yutani has teams that deal with bad situations like this all the time. If we were able to maybe send a transmission either from your ship or maybe from orbit or outside the system, whatever maybe that would be the best thing. And then not abandoning this place, of course, we can't let them leave. So however we want to do that, but maybe there's a way we can get a call out.
Well, the Elios has to stay grounded until the job's done. However, there is a spare ship. It has been abandoned. We have searched it thoroughly, and its comms and its mother seems to be wholly intact. So if you have, well, it seems you've got a few spare feet to order around. I'm sure that a lot of you can get that thing in the air and get your message out.
Interesting.
Whilst we negotiate with the pirates here. Yes.
Good. I was just going to say, I have not heard any specific demands. I have the authority to give them, within reason, whatever it is they're looking for, if they will release the hostages. If they want money, there's not much here. It's a research facility, but they can have all of it if that's what they want. If they want supplies, we can give that to them. I just want to make sure that that our people are safe. But my hands are tied if I don't know what it is they want, and they haven't told us. So anyway, sorry, I'm taking a little bit of my stress out, and I apologize. I just know that whatever you say to them when you speak to them, I am absolutely willing to work with this, and as long as it gets them out of here and people are safe.
Well, speaking frankly, it appears that the leader of these pirates is under the idea that something was done to them. Now, whether or not that's true, that's neither here nor there. What matters is that we respect that perspective. So if something were to have been done to them in this particular facility, because this does not seem to be an accident, I think it might be best to consider what might or could have been done to them.
We're alone out here. We've not had contact with any of these people before. I have no idea what this person could be talking about. I mean, maybe it could be that she might be angry with the company and is taking it out on us. And if that's the case, we're not the company per se, we're employees. And I can assure that I will be willing to give whatever it is that they want. But
well, certainly, I understand, but again, I think that you are basing your decisions on reality, where it is we need to pretend to be in this individual's perspective.
I see.
So
that's why
she believes something has been done to her. So of course, it's a research facility like this must have a cure for whatever ails her. Correct?
I can't imagine. We have first aid. We do have a medical facility in here, but medical research is not what we do.
Did they know that?
I don't know. That's a very good question. I mean, you're right. It's possible they saw Weyland-Yutani research and just assumed we're pharmaceuticals or something, but we're not. Look around. We process ore. We stake claim. We've been scouting this planet for minerals. we're out here for something completely different than anything related to genetics or bio anything.
Super duper quick from last week, just for my reminder and for the table and for the audience, what they had told us that she was saying was, you know what I want, you know what I'm here for, I know you can help me. That's what I have written down. If that
you are the best.
Yes,
that is
that is in congruence with my notes as well.
Well, I don't want to take up too much of your time, and I've got some work to get started on my own. So I think that attacking this from two fronts might be the best solution. So if you have anyone that's talented with a wrench and can get that pirate scrap into orbit to get your message out to your people, and you can assure that your people don't put hands on my people.
Oh no, that wouldn't happen. I do have some pretty talented mechanics working here that work on the facility and the heavy machinery here, but they are all on the other side of the station. I haven't seen or heard from them in almost 2 days now.
Then I think that might be your priority at this moment. While me and my team, we're going to have ourselves a little bit of pretend with our unwelcome guest.
I have tried to contact. I have access to a facility-wide microphone, as it were. We can broadcast to every room in the facility.
Then with that, I would say use that to try and find your mechanics. I think that it might be seen a mite disrespectful if I tried to talk to your friends remotely.
Sure. For clarification, we understand these people to be held hostage currently by the pirates, right?
That's the belief, especially
That's
because there was their attempt to escape ended up in a gunfight, and they were cut off.
Okay,
and they haven't been seen since. You guys have. There's been recorded sounds and gunfire, and there has been reported that the pirates are not getting along.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Just reminding myself.
All right. So with that, I think I'm gonna respectfully leave the boss's office to talk to my team.
See, in Alien, that would immediately reduce one stress.
I know, right?
But unfortunately, Doc does not have a
Dr.
soft-wearing
Impressive is
cat.
on the ship.
He's on the ship.
He's on the ship. Okay, so you leave the corporate exec to his office as you step back out.
While that was,
go ahead.
I'll say while that was happening, Nakamura was showing Tig schematics. I want to have brought Isaac in.
Okay.
I want to look to see what do we have for air ducts? What's going on? What in the schematics? What can we find?
Indeed.
I have several questions about these schematics, in fact.
Yes, that's what I want to get them in here for.
Air ducts. It doesn't look like that is in these schematics. It doesn't look like there is an overlay of the, there's not a blueprint to the construction of the building itself. It's mostly, it looks like it's just a guide to the different quadrants. When you ask about it, Nakamoto nods and goes, no, I'm afraid we do not have access to that.
I see elevators and stairs going both up and down. In the center of the facility. Where do those lead, respectively?
Second floors in the same area. There are catwalks and places of elevation where computer consoles and whatnot are usually stored in order to operate machinery and keep tabs on the facility. Not a second floor in the building. The building is all one floor. But ceilings become very high in the production facility areas.
And I see in the north of the facility a vehicle bay, and in the southeast a cargo bay and lift. I would assume both of those would constitute points of egress. And I remember you mentioned there's more than one exit.
Yes. The cargo bay is an option to exit. However, that lift opens up to a 200-foot drop just off the side of the cliff. It's usually what we use when we are traveling into the canyon. It is, however, a way to get out. It would be dangerous to move a panicked group of people, but a small group could easily move in and out of there without too much trouble. Also, there is the simple matter of needing to suit everyone up into EV suits, which is making it difficult to get everyone out all at once. They would need access to the facilities. There is an EV suit for everyone who works in the station, however, with plenty to spare, if necessary, in cases of emergency.
And those are kept where?
He sighs like he too has come to terms with the irritating complications of this particular endeavor. He says they're scattered throughout the areas. Most of them can be found in the lockered areas where employees sleep. This is a bit outdated. And he points down to where you see a lot of the fuel areas in the lower left, which is like literally one over. He says, this has all been converted as of 12 years ago. This is now company stocks area. This is where people sleep mostly. It's not exactly the best designed station, but here you have it.
And you've been hearing the gunfire from where, please?
Where we last left them was the last place I heard. And we were cut off somewhere near the vehicle bay, between the vehicle bays and this area. And he points to the large 4 tanks that you see up in the far upper right near the shops and lockers. Most of this is the processing facility. The machinery there has been offline for some days now. We believe we've also heard movement in the distribution area. And he points down below the middle quadrant to the very bottom and says, the distribution area seems to have had movement at some point. I tried to take a look around inside, but the power is fluctuating, just like my camera.
Any sense of why the power would fluctuate?
He nods and just simply says, it's likely because when they cut the hard lines of the security, they may have actually damaged some of the internal power systems in the process. I have a feeling they don't know what they're doing. Rather like a blunt instrument.
That seems like a fair assessment.
He looks at you, Isaac, and then looks pointedly at you, Tig, and says, I am willing to do what is necessary to protect the people here. They are my priority more than corporate property.
Like to hear that, not gonna lie.
He nods and says, good, because while I am willing to entertain a peaceful solution to this problem, whoever this person is clearly unstable and has already executed 2 members of the staff. My intention, if I get the opportunity, is to put her down the moment I can. But as I said, I am willing to entertain a peaceful solution to this.
I mean, it's good to keep in mind they're clearly also not about peace here, so...
He steps away like he is conflicted. And he taps, and it almost is a nervous habit. If you guys want to make an observation check, he's looks like he's about to say something. But if you would like to make an observation check to get a sense.
Yes.
Nope.
Nope.
No.
No. Okay. You get the sense.
The greatest observers of the
Yeah.
team here.
It's the most you've seen him emote since you have all begun talking to him. And once again, he glances back over his shoulder to see how many other people are within earshot before turning back to all of you and says, I don't fully understand the nature of this raid, but I'm sure you two can sense that something is going on here. Something more is going on here. And I think that Manager Kelly is hiding something from us. Why this pirate is here with her crew, I'm almost certain has something to do with him.
I think we need more information.
He nods. Agreed.
We need to get eyes on them somehow. Do you know, I can't remember if I asked him this last time, do you know if your security feeds are being tampered with electronically or if they just fully sabotage the hardware?
According to Mother, it's a hardware sabotage.
Okay.
If it's causing power fluctuations throughout the facility, it suggests an underlying electrical.
It could mean, though, that finding the place where they've damaged it and repairing it could bring all of the security systems back online.
That's true. If it's not where they're hiding.
It might be. He pauses like he hadn't considered this, and he says, it could be what I was hearing in the distribution storage area. There is a hard line located there, but I'm not the engineer. However, if something's been damaged or tampered with, I'm sure one of you would be able to spot it.
Yeah, we'll touch base with our captain, but Isaac, you feel like going on a little recon engineering mission?
Absolutely. I would be happy to.
Anything else you can think of that stands out as odd? Or, I mean, the whole thing is weird, but just...
The whole thing is weird, as you
Yeah.
might say.
Mhm.
But no. My orders from my employer would be to kill every single pirate I come across to protect the facility. My security team, if they're still alive, will be of use to us. If I can make contact with them and find out their status, we might be able to use them to pincer this group of pirates.
I think then, I mean, like I said, we'll talk to our captain, but I think priority one is getting eyes somehow. Either someone who can report back, or we get those security systems back online.
Good. Do you need a weapon? He looks over at you, Isaac.
I'm sure that won't be necessary. Thank you.
You might encounter a pirate. You might need to defend yourself.
That's true. No weapon. Thank you.
He glances over at you to see what the story is, Tig.
Tig just nods. They can speak for themselves. Like Tig's just like, yeah.
He shrugs and says, very well.
How high up are those catwalks? If I'm looking up.
You'll have to, if you are looking at the blueprint, it looks like they're about 40 feet up. Judging from the details that Isaac has access to, looking on that map. But to get a visual, you would need to actually be in the room itself.
Okay, so they don't. They're not.
It's not consistent. It's in that one room. So, like where those operational machinery is located, the room is multi-tiered, but it's not
the roof is only elevated in the central
those
section,
areas.
then?
Correct. Yeah. Basically, it looks
So
like
you can see it from the exterior. It's like
Mhm.
flat, and then there's like one protrusion in the center of the facility.
correct. Although there is some contradictions, which begs the question. He did mention that there was a drop-off in that loading
Yes.
bay, and it seems to suggest from the blueprints that some of this facility actually might be built down, and that it actually might be sloping closer into the ground instead of being stacked up. It looks like they may have actually built it into the rock more than they actually rose it up. So there is only one space from the top of the facility that looks like it's extended up. This might be that room.
Okay. Right, because there are stairs down.
Right.
All right. Okay. That's useful.
Tig, without making you roll, as a former Marine, this place is a nightmare when it comes to all of the corners, higher ground, dark, shadowy areas. This would be like, ideally, if you were breaching this area, you would have a motion tracker and night vision goggles and about 5 other Marines behind you.
Hey, we still got that motion tracker.
You do still have the motion tracker.
We got one
I was
out of 3. Let's go.
Yep.
It might be useful, actually.
Yeah.
If I'm doing reconnaissance and engineering.
Yeah.
We could maybe get the location of either the hostage takers or the hostages.
Mm-hmm.
The more we move around the facility, the better we can create a mental map of where motion is happening.
Mm-hmm.
There is one other thing. I was hesitant to say this, as I am bound by my employer to keep certain things out of ear's reach of those who are not also participants in the employment of my company. Every single member of staff follows the protocol of having a PDT chip. Mother should be able to tell us where every single employee is located right now. Alive or dead, we would have access to where their location is. Manager Kelly has been suspiciously reluctant to give this information up. I am not capable of pressing the issue, as he is my superior.
Hypothetically, what are your feelings on some extra legal means with which to possibly find that information if it were helpful?
He nods, says,
You don't have to assist, just want to make sure we're not stepping on your toes.
He nods and says, do what you must. And I will look the other way.
Tick wants to see if we can get Martha on any of that, if that's feasible at
Assuming Martha's in the room with you, she is just nodding along and going, yeah, PDT chips was going to be the thing I was going to ask about.
And we can say we brought her. I think she was on the ship at the end of the last, but I think once we settle this, I think it makes sense for her to have come in.
Cool. Martha, though, who is specialized in electronic warfare, says, also, it's good to keep in mind that sometimes people will try to use PDT chips against you. They will somehow, they'll set up traps to lure people into where PD chips are. So we'll have to be clever when we examine what we see in the computer.
Any information is information. As long as we are aware that it could be false, it's still information.
We can correlate it against motion tracker data.
That's true too.
Is your boss going to give us access to Mother? And you see Nakamoto hesitates for a moment and says, if he doesn't, I will speak up. And Martha nods and says, if he doesn't, then I will invoke the Colonial Protection Act. I'm Colonial Marines, and this has become a hostage situation. And if Wayland Yutani isn't capable of dealing with it, the Colonial Marines will. Nakamoto smiles at her and nods and says, well then, maybe the next move then is to have a talk with Manager Kelly. Isaac, you look like you want to say something.
Oh, pardon me. It's just the absence of a PDT chip would not necessarily be something to keep secret. The presence of an unexpected one, perhaps. What kind of information could be yielded from PD chips alone that would not be useful for the manager to give over? Unless there's an unexpected finding, a PD chip in an unexpected location, or someone having one who isn't supposed to.
What do you mean? Who would have a PDT chip that isn't supposed to have one?
A former employee, perhaps.
He looks like he's trying to understand where you're going with this. He says, I'm not sure I follow you.
Has anyone been terminated recently as far as employment here, or has it been a pretty consistent crew?
Missions out here this far, spineward, are long-term employment assignments. If someone's terminated, then... He lets that drift off for a second. He says, things become very difficult if you are terminated.
Has anyone been?
It happened before I arrived here some years ago.
One wonders, in the course of his normal duties, how Manager Kelly might come to know anyone, if indeed the leader of this pirate gang is correct and not mistaken. It's not exactly like she seems reliable.
No, she seems unstable. Anyone who is willing to take a human life with so much ease cannot be trusted with their mental state.
Do you think she really knew Mr. Kelly?
I am not sure how that would be possible, but I do think that the manager is hiding something. I'm not sure what she is on about, though.
Do you predate Kelly, or does Kelly predate you here as at this
Manager
station?
Kelly has been a manager here for well over 7 years now. I arrived here 3 years ago.
Anything else that he's been reluctant to share with you? You seem like a model employee, frankly. It baffles me that he would want to keep anything from you, particularly in a security situation.
I have broad authority when it comes to security situations, but he is an executive, and I have to go through him. All of the company, the company projects, the well-being of company property, all of that is in his purview. He has been suspicious about things over the years, but that's frankly standard company culture. I haven't had any cause to believe that he's been putting anyone in danger until recently. Save, of course, the aforementioned termination.
All right.
Any other thoughts, Isaac, or should we reconvene and make a plan?
Yes, we should get everyone together and figure out what everyone's doing.
Cool. Probably about the time the Doc's conversation probably was also ending.
Martha nods and says, "Thank you, Nakamura." And he says, "Lieutenant."
I would actually also, is Nakamura staying in here with us, or does he?
He hasn't moved until you guys move.
Okay, that's fine. If Doc is showing up here, that's fine. I think to the side, I would like to have Martha go to Martha and say some. If you find yourself with a moment or two of downtime, and however in depth you get in the system, maybe some of the manager's correspondence might be worth digging into.
She nods and says, "I could try gaining access to Mother, but the Mother system here is much more advanced than the one on the Elios, so she'll put up a bigger fight, and if she flags me, we're cooked."
Just a secondary possibility if we are really entertaining the thought that Kelly knows this person. How else would he have met her? It doesn't sound like anybody leaves, comes or goes.
Maybe there's a log or something of people who have come and gone.
Yeah.
Maybe a recording. Maybe one of the other employees knows something. The PDT chips will give me everything on every employee. It'll have their name, their serial numbers, their blood type, medical history.
Yeah,
and it tracks them.
Yeah, we start there for sure. And then I think maybe look into validity of whether or not Kelly's involved with this. But yeah, let's figure out where everyone is, or at least where the pirates want us to think they are.
She pauses for a moment, and Martha goes, "I don't like how quiet it is here. We have an entire facility full of hostiles, and I haven't heard a thing. It's no demands. Something's just really weird going on."
Yeah, at this point, we've heard reports of sound. You kind of heard something at one point, but we weren't in here yet.
Yeah.
Yeah. We need more information.
Okay, I'll go talk to Mother.
Good luck.
She slings her pulse rifle over her shoulder, steps out, and heads towards the Mother console.
Oh, hey, Doc.
Hey, how's it going, y'all? Any luck in your end?
Oh, yes, we've rescued everyone. Hooray.
Oh, well, let's just gone home then.
You're really good at that. That's the best one yet, probably. I like that.
Holy shit, I just realized that was a joke.
Pretty good.
Nakamura is still standing there, and he looks a little baffled by this exchange.
So our friend here, what's our read on him? And I'm looking at Nakamura.
I mean, Isaac pegged him as an upstanding employee, so we're having a nice little chat.
Depending on the company that I am in, that could be a compliment or an insult.
You seem
See, he tells jokes too.
I like yours better.
I would like to bullet point what we have gleaned.
All right. Well, y'all have certainly covered some ground. I've made nice with Kelly.
It'll be helpful later.
I think I've earned some measure of trust, but I can tell you that boy is more nervous than a cat in a room full of rocking chairs. There's something not right with him.
What about a civilian in a facility full of pirates?
That too.
Well, that's also a bit nerve-wracking. Speaking of, I may have suggested to our friend Kelly that he asked if he might be able to use the Elios to get a message out to Wayland Yutani. I told him that unfortunately the Elios stays on the ground till the mission's done, but there is a spare pirate ship that might be of some use if in regards to getting messages out. So his priority.
Have you been able to search the pirate ship yet? Have you been able to find out if anyone else is on board or if there's anything else on board?
Grocery sweet, but nothing in depth. We didn't come across anyone or anything besides a body, but that was more question than answer.
But
Is that you were doing, by the way?
Yeah, I do wonder. Did you lay out any pirates?
No, not yet. But my security team was able to see them coming when they were charging up the ramps towards the facility. They didn't offer up much resistance before fleeing.
Refresh, how long have they been in this standoff?
He's making it sound like it's been a couple of days at least, but you get the impression that they've lost a little bit of time. The days here are quite long.
Yeah.
Apparently. And so there's a lot of there's inconsistency, but a generalization of how long it's been.
Okay.
You get the impression from the time you received the transmission and it's broadcasting, it's probably been something closer to 4 or 5 days that they've been stuck here.
And then the body bag, we had said that
it was about 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Which corresponds to how long the SOS.
Make an observation. Wait, are you guys you're not okay.
I'm just trying to, yeah.
Okay.
Dead guy on the ship, chest caved in 2 weeks ago.
But if the days are longer here, does that correlate at all? Like are these days twice as long here? With that,
you're not sure.
Okay,
but
I was trying to figure out does that correlate?
I would say timeline wise, it all is adding up. It all seems to be you are able to put together a string of events that was probably set in motion.
Mm-hmm. We were trying to figure out if the person in that body bag was killed here, or if they came here with that.
Good question.
Body in the bag. That was kind of what we were chatting about. Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, all I can tell you, folks, is that I've given Kelly the idea of commandeering that pirate vessel to try and get the order out. So his priority is finding mechanics, and I believe that his mechanics might be some of the members that have been held by the pirates. So we may want to begin communication with them at some point.
I think we were chatting here about just getting eyes on anything first. Isaac's willing to do a little recon and engineering refresh for us, see what we can get down there. But yeah, I don't want to risk ticking any of them off by going over the loudspeakers or something. Just, I want to know more. Martha's working on the chips, but yeah, I think we do these two and then we go from there.
Sounds good to me. I can continue to make nice with our friend Kelly if that is going to be helpful.
Did you throw my insubordination under the bus? That's always fun.
I haven't played that card yet. Didn't need to. I played the groveling with just 2 leaders of men, and the burden is such that blah, 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 blah.
Mm-hmm. I'll make a scene. You let me know.
That will appeal to his ego, I'm sure.
Of course. Well, it's unpleasant work, but that's what we signed up for. So, is there anything in particular that might be in his office or on his person that would be of use that I should be on the lookout for? And don't be shy with the suggestions, Nakamura.
There's certain things I can and cannot say, unfortunately.
We're trying not to put our friend here in a sticky situation.
Oh, how is
What
he
sort
at
of things can't you
charades?
tell us about? So we know not to ask and put you in such an uncomfortable situation.
Mm-hmm.
You won't know what you're not supposed to ask in this situation.
Mm.
But I will tell you that anything that is not mission specific, as they may say, is stuff that I will keep from you. In which case, he does have an office, yes, that is nearby. I believe Mother is located in that office, and your friend, the lieutenant, is probably headed there now.
Well, it's probably best not to get in Martha's way, and somebody's got to keep an eye on our squirrely friend. So I'm gonna do that then.
Remember your sacrifice.
A selfless, yes, act here. Isaac, do you want backup or do you want me here with everybody?
Well, I was intending to take a little bit of a trip outside as well, and that might not be your preferred environment, but if you'd care to accompany me, and perhaps if you enjoy climbing. I assume there's climbing equipment for that cliff.
There's a lift that'll take you down and back up again if you need to. It just now occurs to him, like he's just now noticing, Isaac, that you're the only one not wearing an EV suit.
And
there's some dusting on you, indicating that you've been outside in that wind. And you see him, it's slowly dawning on him. But he doesn't say anything, but you see the revelation in his eyes, like he finally gets it.
Good.
Oh, we got a touchdown. All right.
Yeah, we'll say I back you up outside, and then you want to take the indoor sleuthing on your own?
All right.
If you want me with you, I will, but I feel like maybe you'll be more useful there than I would. Don't want to get in your way.
Perhaps then you could take the first shift with the motion tracker, and Isaac will trace along the outside of the facility.
Mm-hmm.
Motion trackers don't care about walls too much. The outside of the facility can tell you just as much with less danger.
Yeah, well, might as well go for a walk then. Weather seems lovely.
Really? I thought it was quite hostile to...
Yeah,
you were doing one too.
Got another touchdown. We just scoring today. All right, well, I think we all have our plays. Break.
Cool. So is Isaac coming outside with me, or is Isaac going to go straight for the...
I think if we give you the motion tracker and you do an outside and around sweep, we can see in which quad sectors you get pings on the motion tracker as you do that.
Sweet, perfect.
And I don't know how thick these walls are, but if they really are modular prefab style, maybe you could hear noise a little more effectively.
Mm-hmm. What is from the outside? Are there, like, did we see windows or like openings, or is this just basically like a slab?
On this side of the building, it looks like a slab.
Okay,
Lots of decoration on the outside, proudly proclaiming that it is a Wayland-Yutani research facility, of course. But on this side, you're not seeing anything that looks like there is viewports or anything else like that. You haven't seen the other side looking out over the canyon. That might be different.
That's right. She'll ask Nakamura then. Do you any view out or in, or is it all just
And he confirms that there is, in fact, 2 on the other side of the facility that overlooks the canyon near the ports. Those usually
How
have...
high up? Yeah.
They take up a large portion of the wall, and they run lengthwise around that particular portion, that sector of the building. However, there's almost always the metal shutter is closed for protection.
Okay.
So unless they track the weather, when the weather shifts and it's safe to open the windows as a precaution, they do so.
Cool. All right. Good to know. I'll go take a walk.
Okay.
Otherwise, you'd have to traverse the cliff, which was why Isaac was willing.
Yeah. Legit. Okay.
Yeah.
So
All right.
you guys are kind of splitting up here. Who would like to do what first, so that we can follow this?
Doc is just keeping an eye on Kelly.
Okay.
Informing Kelly of the plan that his team has, but keeping it disguised. Essentially, essentially telling we're doing recon before we engage with the pilot.
Right. Okay. Because of your role and the talent used, I'm going to say Kelly unquestioningly welcomes your company and does not suspect anything is up. That being said, I am now going to hand Martha over to you, Noir.
Absolutely. Well, one last thing with Doc real quick, if I may. I was hoping that he would be able to have that he would have that conversation in the office so I could do a quick observe to see if there's anything lying around that may be useful.
In the office where you were all talking just now. Go ahead and make that roll.
In Kelly's office.
Oh, in Kelly's office. Yeah, you can go ahead and make an observation check if you'd like.
All right, here we go.
Tell me what you get. Clackety, clackety, clackety. It's okay. I understand deadlines. Caitlin's got to write a novel.
Working so hard.
Stress, observation, and wits. There it is.
Yep.
All right. And all of my stress.
Yeah.
Okay. That's 2 successes.
Nice.
Okay. If I remember correctly, that's going to let you stunt. So.
Stunt.
Ooh, this could be fun. So you got 2 successes. Let's see. So anything of interest? Yes. The first thing you would spot is Kelly laying on near one of what looks like a holographic projection of a flat keyboard that is raised up above the surface in this beautiful blue iridescent glow. You can see that Kelly has laying there next to it what looks like an old-fashioned key card. You've seen this before because you've used old Mother systems, but it looks like it might actually be his corporate company security card that he has laying there. There's that.
Hey, buddy.
I don't think even with that, I think if you're spending that, what are you spending that stunt on? Are you trying to obtain anything else that's interesting in there?
If the key card is out, I'm assuming that it's useful, but it's not crucial because he would have done a much better job hiding it.
Yeah, he doesn't seem to be very protective of it.
Right. I'm looking for something that looks like it has been stowed away. I guess the stunts that I have available is it coming for me? Are there more close by?
Yeah, that's a little too special. In this case, since we're using it as like an investigation role here to try to spot something that Doc might be like, aha, that's highlighted, so I should grab it.
It says A button right there, so I want to press the A button.
I would say, Doc, that the information you're going to get from this is, first of all, there really isn't anything.
Okay.
And in fact, as you're looking at him tapping on this holographic keyboard as he's accessing Mother, you're glancing over at him to see his just watching him, just observing him. And Doc, you cannot help but feel, as somebody who observes people, who monitors patients, who monitors emotional states, you get the genuine impression that he is confused, that he is nervous, and maybe feeling a little powerless right now.
The only I'll end it with this thing. Doc would just go, listen, there's a lot happening here, and should you ever decide you want to just put away the rank and the file, and you just want to vent, I'm a good listener.
That's why they call you Doc.
It's also because I'm a world-renowned doctor, but yeah, that too.
Which world, if I might ask?
Terran, Earth, Doc Albright. You can look me up.
I'm sure I'd find you. I don't spend much time back at Earth, to be honest. It's been many, many, many years since I've been home.
It's fine. One rather impressive thesis and research paper, but really beyond that, it's just working with the stars, nips and tucks and things of that nature.
Thank you for that. That's very kind. No, I'm just I don't understand why we don't know what they want. That's kind of driving me a little up the wall. I don't understand why they're here. I just give them what they want and they'll leave. Presumably, they're pirates. I don't know what she's talking about. I don't know what to do here. I don't know how to compromise with them. I'm worried that sending one of you in is going to get one of you killed. I'm just not sure what's happening. Is all.
I appreciate the concern. But I more than anything, I know that beyond amazing technological advances, Waylon is fantastic at keeping secrets. So,
well, every company that's worth its salt is.
And Waylon is worth a lot of salt.
I just don't know what to do with myself right now. I'm not sure what can be done. I don't have access to communications. I've tried to be useful with using communications. We don't have access to them just yet. I just don't. I don't know what else I can do right now. And I've left a lot of people behind back there. And I don't even want to think about what they're doing to the property. They're probably trashing the place.
You know what is one of the most damaging misconceptions I've discovered in my time? People think doing nothing is doing nothing when it's actually doing something.
Yes. I've read a lot of philosophy myself. Doing nothing is in fact doing something.
Exactly. Then give yourself a moment. Just relax.
There is the other issue, of course, that we have started to confront, which is most of the food supplies and water supplies are in the lounge area. It's not far from here, and presumably it's safe to access. But if they've been moving about the station, I've ordered that everyone stay here so that no one gets hurt. But I think people are going to start getting hungry pretty soon. So we might need to consider. Also, I don't know what the status is if they've been feeding my staff. I don't even know if they're being allowed to go to the bathroom. I don't know what their state is. I need to know. Listen, I'm sorry, Dr. Albright. You offered to speak to them. If somebody could, can I get on this intercom and just say, can you meet us and tell us what you want?
That is more likely to end up with one of yours being injured than not. I've got the very best, and I promise you, they are, in fact, the very best working recon. Make sure that when we do initiate that conversation, we do it in a way that is appealing to them and leaves your people alive.
Of course. Yes. Of course. I trust you. Yes.
And what say we get back to the busy work of doing nothing for a little bit, huh?
If you would please, because while all of this has been happening, Martha has been attempting to access Mother.
Yeah, let's go!
So, about a corridor and a few rooms away, Mother is currently being accessed by Martha. Let me go ahead and just pull up the stats here.
Yep, I've recreated Martha fully on Demiplane. I just didn't know if Martha had any stress. That's the one thing I was missing.
I don't think she does, but quick question for you. Did you have access to the full Google Doc out of curiosity?
No, but I imagine the Google Doc was just just providing an explainer on the talents.
It should be.
And because I did it on Demiplane, I have all of that right here.
Excellent. Okay, cool. All right. So this is a Mother 7000. Martha would immediately know that this is a more advanced version of the Mother system that you have aboard the Elios. It's not top of the line, but it is sophisticated. Martha would also know, judging by her skill, that a Mother 7000 rolls a Comtech of 7. So this is going to be a tricky opposed check. And also a really attractive spot for a story point to be spent from Ox Crew.
Oh, yeah, I was definitely going to ask
Yes,
that.
please.
Yeah.
All right.
So Martha, you're standing in front of the Mother system. And as you gain access, Mother speaks and says, "Welcome, guest. How may I help you?" Mother begins to get some of the commands from Martha as Martha pulls out her little Siegson data hacker pad that she carries with her on all things. So we're going to go ahead and have a roll off here.
Does she get a bonus for the data pad?
Yes, that should give her a gear bonus. And I think it should say on there, it's either +1 or +2.
Okay, because let me go. I'm in.
And if you are spending an Ox point, this Ox point is from Rogan27.
Hey, Rogan! Rogan also does some dope streams. Got a will of games that they stream. You got to check that out.
Thanks for the Ox point, Rogan.
Martha has a +2 to Comtech from electronic tools and a +2 to Comtech from the SSDD.
Excellent.
+1 to Comtech on a Mother system also.
Then this counts. So that's +5 dice on top of her Comtech check. Yeah.
On top of her Comtech, which is...
This is
should be a total of 13 then.
You guys have gotten enough XP that Martha would easily be considered an elite Marine.
Yeah.
That is an expert at electronic warfare. Hacking Mother is no joke. This is a powerful AI.
How's 3 successes do you? God, I don't know that I want to go back to die.
Plus the Ox point is 4.
That's 4 successes. That's right. Mother rolls a single success on 7 dice.
Nice try, Mother.
So
we have a Martha.
Lots of stunts, lots of unexpected information.
Yeah, you're going to get full access here. You basically, Martha, with a few command codes, dances around all of the authorization locks in place. Mother is not able to keep up with Martha's expert skill of electronic warfare, and you gain full access. Yes, with what is that? 3. Let's see. So you rolled how many successes total?
4 total.
So that'll be 3 stunts for no 2 stunts because her success is going to cancel out 1 of yours. So you'll get 2 stunts here. So what was the first piece of information Martha wanted to learn? Where the colonists, or rather the research, the staff people are?
We wanted to get access to the PDT chips.
Okay. PDT chips immediately come online. You see the blueprints and a 3-dimensional projection pop up in front of you, Martha, and it spins around and flips over, and immediately you see dots light up across the blueprints, and you see a couple have scattered. There's a few that are not in the same area as others, but essentially you see a bunch pop up across the quadrants. Namely, it looks like most of them are indeed to the upper far right top right corner of the shop where it looks like a lot of the tanks and processing tanks are kept, where the offices are, the shops are, basically almost the opposite end of the facility from where you are. There's a couple of dots that you see popping up in the engineering and storage area, and there is 2 dots that are popping up in the distribution area. It looks like it's a full complement of everyone. You were expecting 90 employees based off of what the information you guys had been given. It looks like it's actually something closer to about 65 people are currently employed here. And that tracks with Mother's records. It doesn't look like there's a discrepancy. It probably looks like Beacon wasn't given any up-to-date information, but it looks like 65 total staff. And about 7 of them are registering as flatlined.
Ooh.
They're not registering any life signs at all. The others, you are seeing what looks like the PD chips. Mother is able to gauge an approximation of their movement. And you do see some of these blips moving about in that area in the upper right quadrant. And a few of them are spattered about and they're not moving. Now that could mean a couple of things. That could mean Martha would know that could mean that Mother's just having a trouble approximating their movement. Without security systems, she's basically kind of approximating. Or it could be that those are on. Martha would also know this too, because this is a brutal tactic that was used during the Colony War. It is either a corpse that is probably trying to lead somebody into a trap, or flip side to that, and the darker version of it, it could be whatever that PDD chip was attached to left for a trap. So if these pirates are thinking on that kind of level, it's possible that that's why those are not moving. Or they could be captured and are bound up. There's multiple possibilities. So you get to ask 2 questions here. What would Martha like to know?
Can I refer to the rest of the group?
Yeah, let's look at
together. We are
Absolutely.
Martha.
look at the sense sheet and see what we got.
Because one of the things that I'm interested in is there any other way of us getting, like, are there cameras or like chance that we can?
That's what I'm about to go do.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll need to go to distribution and storage. So the location, one of the 2 locations where there are non-moving chips, and get that working.
So we have 2 stunts. Is that correct?
Correct.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I would like to pitch gain +1 on related rolls, or auto pass the same roll if we want to get back into Mother later.
Oh, that's a good one.
Okay.
That would be my pitch. I'm not saying this is what we're doing, but these are my pitches. So if we want to get back in Mother later, and then maybe to get new information.
Yeah. 1 for the roll, 1 for unexpected information.
Yeah. That would be
because we might need to hack deeper. You know, I'm not saying that there are communiques that could be of use, personal files, old employment records. I'm just saying knowing how to work a Mother 7000 is a very useful skill.
I just want to check in on what our thought would be to see about getting Kelly's communications, if that would be possible from here.
Another role, because this roll is specifically to get the PDT chip info. So I think that would be another role. So
that would be what the +1 could go to, hypothetically.
Hypothetically, yes.
If we were to, commit corporate malfeasance or something.
That's correct.
Yeah. Exactly.
All right.
So that would be my pitch was +1 on the related roll to like mess with Mother later if we want to get in here later, and then unexpected information
for the other one.
That's
all right. Let's do it.
Cool. Ship combat, but with Martha. Let's go.
Okay. So you're going to attempt to access messages that have been used here in the facility?
So for this, we're doing our 2 stunts are new and unexpected information, and then +1 on related roles in the future.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So new information relating to the PDT chips.
To locations of people.
Or what we find in the course of Martha looking those up. You're just unexpected information.
Okay. There is a PDT chip outside the facility. that is registering about a kilometer away near what you suspect is probably the canyon.
I don't like that.
And it is also not registering any life signs.
I don't like that. All right.
Yeah.
We got unexpected information.
I would also say that you're able to see, Mother is able to, using predictive algorithm, Mother is able to pinpoint the corpses that are not feeding back biosigns. She's getting inconclusive information on a few of those dots that are not moving. So it's actually kind of confirming that it's either a discarded PDT chip. It could have been dug out, or it could still be attached. But whatever it is, it's not. It's not living.
Okay. Well, I'm gonna have Martha go on her rations, pull out a bug juice, take a deep sip.
No one can't. You can't say that you're not playing Martha accurately.
Lore accurate Martha.
Mm-hmm.
And then I'm gonna have her let us know in the comms everything that we just did.
Perfect.
Okay, and you're the internal radio that you guys have trafficked. You all hear through that secure line.
Excellent.
Let's go ahead and pause right there then.
Perfect.
So we'll take our 10-minute break and we'll come back right and pick up just right where we left off in this mystery. We'll see you all in about 10 minutes.
All right.
Thing getting thrown. Another thing getting thrown. Foley is just having a real good time here. That sounded like an elephant. I swear that sounded like an elephant.
Hi, my name is Jake.
And I'm Sam.
And together we are the co-hosts of What We Know, the most watched source of all topics gaming. We have the fastest scoops, the hottest takes, and hell, the cutest co-hosts.
Can't deny that, but there's more to us than looks alone. Each episode, we take a dive into gaming-related stories of the week that interest us. Topics that make us go, wait, this couldn't be real, or hang on, wait, what? Or
the greatest thing that has ever happened to gaming ever.
yes, things exactly like that. So check out Old Haven's YouTube, and every other Tuesday, you'll find out what we know.
What would happen if the whole world knew monsters existed? That they could be your neighbor, your barista, or your childhood bully? Hi, we're Pest Control, a mostly Monster of the Week actual play show that just started our second season, and we're asking exactly those questions.
We are another tabletop podcasting show, but we utilize Monster of the Week very well. It feels almost like you are watching a show. It gets really dark.
Yeah, and in between all that, we're a little bit of silly little goofers.
Sam enables some extremely impactful story moments built up from themes and creature designs.
I'm William, they, them, and I'm playing Kelly Aberdeen, he, him, who is a vigilante who wants more than anything to be a monster and cannot become one.
I'm Sam, she, they, and I'm playing Nami, she, her, who is an angel who fucked up and has to make up for it.
My name is Jonas, they, them, and I'm playing Rabbit Moon, he, they, she, a demon boy who changes forms and plays with gravity. Rabbit is using the custom playbook, The Shape Changer.
And my name is Keeper Sam. Come follow Pest Control as we watch the story of Kelly, Nami, and Rabbit trying to keep the community of Norfolk safe from the encroaching influence of the city. Come check us out.
In a world without magic, a world much like our own, danger still creeps around every corner. But where there's danger, there's always someone willing to take up the risk.
And opens her mouth wide.
God, is there anybody normal in this city at all?
Well, you know me, boys. I do love an apocalyptic event.
Since 2020, $2 Creature Feature has delivered a high-quality Monster of the Week podcast in association with Althaven ttrpg Network. In Season 1, we traveled with Severus Vardy's Traveling Fun Fair. In Season 2, we solved the mystery of what lurks at the heart of Jupiter Hollow. Now, a new team must stand up to the threats that are out of this world. $2 Creature Feature proudly presents Season 3, Atlas.
Welcome back to Noir Would Rather Be Playing Helldivers 2. We're going to go ahead and jump back into where we left off. And where we last left off is you guys playing as Martha. Martha just managed to hack into Mother 7000, which is the system facilities AI here, and a much more advanced model. Well, I shouldn't say much more advanced, because you guys have a 6500, I believe, on the Elios.
And we have a Mother 7000 at home.
That's true, yes. Yeah, which, by the way, side note, is considered out of date for running an entire station. But she does her job. She gets the job done. However, you've gained access. You've found the PDT chips. You've gotten information back, health-wise, and locations of the staff that's here at Jinx Station. One of them, curiously, is for some reason about a kilometer outside the facility itself. Judging from what the PDT information is bringing back, it looks like probably dead. Not moving. Mother, again, is approximating positions based off of the topography that she has available to her, but is not able to, probably because it has something to do with the security systems being shut down, but she doesn't seem to have active access to internal sensors or security or anything like that. So she is basically giving you guys approximations on a lot of this material. So with that in mind, we're going to pick up where we left off. And right now, Martha, you've just finished getting that information. You did say that you were thinking about using stunts.
I use the stunt for the surprise information, and the other stunt is for the plus one using when using Mother in the future.
Okay, cool. So you got the surprising information, which is, of course, the PDT that's being detected. It's also worth noting that PDT chips aren't always implanted inside of employees. Sometimes it is in equipment. They do place those in equipment. Sometimes they do track vitals. But it's worth noting that cross-referencing that with Mother, you would have to get more information as to whether or not that PDT was actually belonging to someone. But it is currently not showing any vitals. So they're either dead or it's a piece of equipment. So worth noting, PDTs can be used pretty much on anything, and companies love to install them on everything, including employees, in order to track everybody's location for safety. Which, to be fair, that is standard issue. The Marines use them, the companies use them. It's actually quite useful to track your unit and people.
We have them
personnel.
on Beacon, don't we?
Yes,
Yeah.
Beacon has, although employees at Beacon can elect not to have them implanted, but then would be required to wear a bracelet that has them. So, because it's company policy that they can track everybody and make sure someone's safe. On more than a few occasions, someone's been trapped in Beacon in like a machine accident and needs to call out for help, and the PDT is the best way to find out, hey, where's Larry? Didn't come back from lunch. Yeah. So anyway, back to Jinx Colony. What would you all like to do? What is the next step for the crew of the Elios? You have this information. We'll say it's been about 45 minutes since you guys made contact with this group of people, since you entered the station. Because, yeah, I know it's been a while in game time, but it really has not been that long since you guys sat down. I would say it's been about an hour and 45 minutes, and you set down the Elios, searched the ship, and then came inside the facility and made contact.
This is like, it's like half speed. We're not even playing in real time. We're
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah. I think Isaac and Tig had during the break, we talked about them renegotiating how this split works. Unless Isaac,
There's
you wanted
a
to
trap in distribution of storage, or at least a possible trap with the two dead bodies. It could be that there are just two dead bodies, but Isaac has been advised that under such circumstances, perhaps they're best off being accompanied. After all, Isaac can't harm humans. So they need a chaperone.
So Tig's gonna take her motion tracker inward instead of outside.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So with that, Isaac, you're separating from the party at this point and headed down to which section?
Distribution and storage along with Tig. That is where we were informed Hardline would be.
Right.
For security.
Okay. So with that then, Tig, you and Isaac move into the next quadrant.
We are being stealthy.
Okay. In which case, I have to ask the $1 million question that Sam loves.
I think it's my role.
Okay. So the lowest stealth roll.
Yeah, because I think I have worse agility than you, so.
Yeah, I'm 3 and 4, so 7.
Okay.
What do you got?
On a mobility check, yeah, I'm 6.
Okay, cool.
Okay. Go ahead and make your check. But I'm going to have you add +1 die because as you enter into this area, the lighting is dim. Only the emergency lights are currently on in the higher corners of the facility itself. There's a few lights all around, but there's no overhead lights shining it around the entire area. It's darker in here, which, by the way, while it is going to give you a bonus on stealth checks, it is also going to make it difficult to observe things, and it's going to add difficulty into shooting things if you have to. So keep that in mind.
I mean, those are both irrelevant to me because 1, I don't have a gun to shoot anything with, and 2, I don't succeed at observation checks. That's for other people. Anyway, I'm going to roll the stealth check now.
Okay.
1 success.
Roll. 1 success.
All I need, I'm told.
Well, to succeed, but to beat somebody who might be trying to observe you, that's a different question.
Yes, but that requires a bludgeoning weapon.
That is true. It becomes incredibly difficult to observe you when you're unconscious.
Yeah, and that's how you beat the Chuck.
Poor Chuck. All right.
Right up with Larry.
Right up there with Larry. All right. Entering into the facility, as you all enter into this room, there's like a short, almost like an antechamber as you're led into this place. Sort of like almost like a security airlocked area. So stepping in through one doors and they close behind you and a second set opens up in front of you and you see the darkened large chamber in front of you. Judging from this place has been reconfigured based off of what Nakamoto told you. And you know what? I should tell you that Nakamoto actually would probably want to come with you, especially if Martha is staying behind. Because Nakamoto, when the two of you are about to depart, Nakamoto says, I have extensive knowledge of the facility and I'm armed.
Are you quiet?
He nods, if I have to be. In which case, let me just double check his stats to see if he should have been rolling that. Because
Significant look to Tig.
No, he doesn't need to roll that.
Like, is that a thing we want?
I think if Nakamura is taking a sec to like collect his things, I think Tig would just be like, I mean, we're keeping an eye on him just as much as he's keeping an eye on us.
And Martha can keep an eye on Doc.
Okay.
Okay.
He comes back. You see him slide a weapon into a holster at his side and keeps it unbuttoned. Actually, Tig, go ahead and make an observation check for me real quick.
Okay. My gosh.
I'm going to give you a +1 on this die roll.
I would love that.
Yeah.
Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 1 success.
1 success. Okay. There's nothing peculiar about it, but you do take note that the weapon that he holsters looks like a pretty slick-looking semi-automatic handgun.
Is this like a corporate outfit, or does this look like a personal
It doesn't.
Sidearm.
Yeah, it looks like it's a personal sidearm. It doesn't look like a standard corporate issue style sidearm. It looks like he is. It tells you that Nakamura, this is a lifelong kind of job. He seems to take a very personal approach to his work, judging from he does not just use a standard issue company distributed sidearm. So that is something worth noting. But yeah, it looks like a gun that could probably he probably could give these pirates a fight if you guys end up encountering them. So, but with that, yes, he is able to keep quiet behind Isaac as the three of you slip into the next room. He does seem like he knows where he is going, but he doesn't take lead. He seems to keep looking back to find out where you all want him to lead you.
I would like him in between the two of us.
Okay.
I would like to take rear.
He nods and he slips back to position himself where you need him. With that, the three of you begin to creep through this open area. He was right. It looks like they've reconfigured this area that used to be fuel and storage, and this used to be for fuel purification. It looks like it has been revamped to meet the needs of this particular station. And even though the blueprints are slightly out of date, what you see, what looks like an expanded staff quarters area, where it looks like the staff has been treated to slightly larger quarters and locker areas than maybe is traditionally given on this research facility. Moving through here, you see a bunch of open lockers, name tags, as well as what look like doors that denote names and numbers and whatnots, as well as their position in the facility itself. And some of the names, some of the rooms have like names that have been spray painted onto them that are like a little cutesy, like King Suite and things like that. It looks like they've personalized them a little bit, which is kind of interesting considering how rigid Weyland-Yutani facilities can be with their employees, but it doesn't look like it's been scrubbed off or anything. It definitely gives you the impression that this is probably a facility where things are maybe a little less formal than they initially seemed as you're coming through here. You can feel a bit of a personality to this place, which is also adding a little bit to the tragedy of it all, because you see some open lockers with, it looks like they've been rifled through and things have been thrown out onto the floor, reminding you once again that this place has been invaded by violent people. Nakamura edges around the side and is taking a peek around the corner and slips around an office chair and takes cover as the two of you staying in the middle of the two of you kind of bank around the corner. It takes you a few minutes to realize that this room looks pretty empty. You're not spotting or hearing anything. And indeed, the PDT chips, none of them were picked up in here. Could just mean that there might be a pirate in here, but you don't hear anything.
What is our path that we're going? Are we going through the central cube here, or
no?
Did
we
go
down south and then east because we went through the fuel rooms that were reworked.
Right. Okay. Cool. I was trying to place myself. Got it.
So right now you have a general area. You're in that quadrant right now, kind of surrounded by all these doors and lockers and such.
Got it.
Yeah.
So you see, there's like a lower door, not the one that says locker, but the other one.
Yeah.
I think that's what we're going through right now to get to distribution and storage.
Perfect.
Nakamura looks back at you as you approach this door. Again, it's eerily dark in here. And as he approaches the door, his face is somewhat obscured in the shadow as he turns and looks back at to both of you and whispers, "There will be no way to quietly open this door."
Can I pull out that motion tracker?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
See if we've got movement.
Activate the motion tracker.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Can I put it on silent? Can I make it quiet?
Yes, absolutely. Because it is a tactical motion tracker, it would be a death sentence to a Marine squad trying to move quietly into a possibly occupied area. So, yes, the only thing that does not, because it is a product of the pulse that it is sending out, is the small blipping noise that it makes. That can't be silenced, but you can turn off the beep, indicating something coming. So that's an easy setting. However, I need you to start tracking this because get ready. The motion tracker has a battery. And as soon as you start using it. So right now. Yeah.
Oops. Can I chime in as Martha?
Yeah. Sure.
And is there any way that the door can be opened remotely?
Yes, if you knew where they were. But Martha actually does not have no. You would have to be
open encrypted comms.
You would have to be, yes, you have encrypted comms, and you would have to be on the Elios to actually monitor their PDT chips. Because this mother system does not have access to what you guys have. But
We
yes,
could just report
Isaac
our
is correct.
location.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that is correct.
Motion tracker can use once per turn and then power supply roll. My current power is 5 and it has medium range.
So which are you using the M314 motion tracker?
I have
Where's the 16?
I have written down what you gave me, but I don't have the name of it.
I think you are using the standard issue.
It must be.
So I think that's the 314, I believe, is the yes, that's right. The 314.
I'll write that down. 3.
Yeah, because they do have different stats. This is a very expensive piece of tech you're holding.
Yeah, I got it from the Marines.
Yeah.
I never returned anything they gave me to
works
get all of it.
It works up to long range, so you can actually detect the motion in almost the entire facility with this thing.
Okay. So then maybe I didn't have that one because I have written that it does medium range.
Medium range?
Did I have not that one? I mean, I'll take it if you want to give me the fancy one.
Okay,
but...
so then that's the 316. That's the M316 motion tracker.
Okay.
That's correct. Okay, that's correct. Because the 316, that is the big motion tracker that a lot of Marines bring with them on fire team missions. The 316 is much, the 314 is the big one. The 316 is much smaller and is actually more expensive and a little more compact. But the trade-off is that it's medium range. That's correct.
Okay, yeah. So that's the one that I have. I have it listed at 5 power. So unless these recharge, or if it does go more, I have it at.
The drawback to the 314 is the size and weight. You can't fire your weapon and operate the motion tracker at the same time. An experimental pulse rifle mounted upgrade, the M316, is currently being field tested. The good news is it's compact. So this is actually fitting onto your pulse rifle.
Nice.
Lightweight and easy to glance at in a firefight. This actually fits onto your pulse rifle. This is not a carried. Of course, the good news is always comes with the bad. While the M316 operates at about the same as the 314, it's much more limited in range. Of course, results may vary. But what it means is you don't have to worry about. Oh, but it says its power supply is 3 when it's fully charged. So you'll be rolling 3 dice.
I have listed that there's 5 power in it right now.
That is not what the core book says. Cool. The core book says the 314 has 5 power, but
so we must have crossed the streams.
But the good news is you don't have to spend an action using this because it's literally clicked onto the back of your pulse rifle. This is one of the new updated versions, which makes sense because Beacon takes place something like 30 plus years after the events of Aliens. So motion trackers have been upgraded a little bit.
Cool.
So yeah. All right.
I have power 3 then instead.
Okay. Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah,
so you'll be rolling 3 dice. If you ever roll a 1, then it'll be reduced down to power 2. But you don't have to roll yet. You've just activated it. It'll probably be every shift that you're using it. But right now, it's sending out the pulses. And as you click it on and get into a breach position, fitting the pulse rifle up against your shoulder and moving up against the door, making sure to. The trade-off too is wherever you point that pulse rifle is the direction that motion is being detected. So for a brief second, you detect motion in the room that you just came from, presumably Doc, Martha, everybody else. As you angle it towards the door, the first pulse detects nothing on the other side. Then a brief blip appears and then vanishes again. On the next pulse, it doesn't move. And then as you hesitate and wait, you do see it appear again. So something is moving inside. Not regularly, and it doesn't look like it's moving up any of the quadrants on the pulse rifle, but there is movement that it's detecting.
Can I don't know if it would be a roll to infer if this is a piece of equipment that she's familiar with using. If it seems
TIG?
like, yeah, TIG. Yeah.
TIG, you served in the field during the war.
Yeah.
You've probably used this kind of tracker before.
So it would just be like, I'm wondering if I can like roll for her like a wits or something for her to like be able to infer if she thinks that is there like theoretically a single movement as opposed to like people like
right.
How many individual how much.
This is one of those instances where as a GM of the game Aliens, I am reminded to not have the players roll too often.
Yeah.
Because the dice rolls can be quite unforgiving if you roll too often. In which case, I am going to say that Tig, as a former colonial Marine who's used this equipment before and who's been involved in firefights, you would be aware that from your experience, very useful for a combat medic. Sometimes blips will appear like this if somebody is sneaking and trying to lay low, If they hear somebody coming, you've had experiences where it was picking up blips because somebody nearby was struggling to get out underneath a bunch of rubble. So they weren't actually moving, but their body was. They were trying to push things off of them, and the motion detector was picking them up. But you don't see that it could be something along those lines. It's just there's not enough data, but you do see movement.
Cool. That's totally fine. She turns to Nakamura and says, "How loud are we talking?" To the door.
He exhales and he says, "Pretty loud. The trade-off to rebuilding this entire section into crew quarters. This door is quite loud."
Does my motion tracker give me distance, or does it there's just movement
Sure
in
does.
that? Yeah, distance then.
Yeah.
On that motion.
Distance, I believe. Hold on, let me double check because it's got medium range. So just so that I know exactly. No, not that. There we go. I was like typing in just to get details and demiplane for range, and it's like, sure, here are the stats to the deacon. I'm like, no. We're not doing that. Okay. Yeah, beacon, not deacon. No. This is not Prometheus. All right.
Oh, that's Prometheus. I thought it was a character in Supernatural or something.
Boy, that would be a whole different episode of Supernatural. Okay.
Well, because there's already a Sam.
That's true.
I've never seen this show.
It looks like maybe about 15 meters
15
away.
meters. Okay. Yeah.
About medium range.
Roughly 30 feet in 3 minutes, give or take.
Actually, I think that far away might actually be short range. I'd have to double check though.
I can look that up, but I don't remember. I had it written down at one point. She will relay that to her two friends.
Medium is up to 25 meters away. Short range is just a few meters away in same zone as you.
Cool.
So yeah, medium range right now. So just at the periphery of your motion tracker on the other side of this door. Nakamura nods.
Only one way in.
Quick question. Tig, are you wearing body armor right now? You're in your EV suit.
Yeah, if I can wear body under it, that was the plan. But if I can't,
the EV also provides some armor.
Then she's in the EV. She's just
the EV will provide some limited armor.
Then she's just in the EV.
Yeah, Colonial Marine chest plate armor not going to fit under the EV.
Yep, then just the EV.
All right. So he looks at you and says, "You and me."
I look to Isaac. What do you think?
Sure, absolutely.
Okay.
Misunderstanding. They're going to open the door.
Yeah.
The door just slides open, and sure enough, that thing is fucking loud. You get the impression that the moment the door opens, you guys had been around Beacon Station enough to know when someone on the crew probably fabricated something themselves, and you get the impression that the crew probably built a lot of what is in here. You can already think back in the back of your mind the conversations that must happen for people who wander through this door in the middle of the night when people are trying to sleep. But as it opens, it echoes into the next room. Your tracker again. You see a dot appearing from time to time.
Did it move at all when the sound?
No, didn't move.
Tig's gonna signal then with Nakamura, and if Isaac picks up on it, I guess then to around. I want to figure out who or what is moving to go in from opposite directions.
Okay.
Circle around.
Yeah, Isaac, you just boldly step into the room, and right behind you, Nakamura and Tig flank you. You see A room, Tig, that in your tactical estimation is the nightmare room, probably of the entire facility. You see multi-levels here, easy places to get a sharpshooter to shoot down on you guys. Like everything about this room makes your marine mind scream, we are exposed and vulnerable right now. The place looks like it looks like indeed a processing facility. You see what look like belts that are being led across all the different corners as you see in the map. And indeed, you see the multi-tiered catwalks that are built up overhead where a lot of computer stations are set. The lights in here are also dim. So there's lots of shadows being cast around here.
The motion sensor does it as an upward view real quick too.
Yeah, I mean, that literally requires you to sweep your gun and just check the top. No movement as you do a slow sweep of the upper floored areas. Yeah. It doesn't do much to quell your anxieties that someone is sitting up there, though.
No,
but...
I actually thought it was only in the center. But yes, I think a thing is about to happen, and then I'll do whatever I'm doing.
I would say make an observation check. You're in this room to see what you see.
Okay.
Tell me, what do you see with your synth eyes?
Hey, something.
One success?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, quick question.
Mm-hmm.
Did you subtract the die because of
why
the
don't I add a negative die? What do we think of that?
Do that. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good way to compensate. So don't roll
There's no way I roll a success twice.
Now that you've said that.
The negative die does not yield anything. The success.
So then your success stands. Everyone slowly glancing about. Nakamura has his hand on his gun as he's pointing it slowly around quietly. And as everyone's observing and checking doors and corners, Isaac, you see what looks like a large military-style boot attached to a leg on the ground near like one of the corners. You can't tell if it's attached to someone or not, but it looks like someone it resembles what you would imagine to be somebody sitting up against a what looks like some kind of terminal or maybe a crate of some kind, black fatigues and a black boot. And you see the foot is just kind of swaying back and forth like so.
Does it look at all like what Nakamura is wearing?
No, it does not.
Okay.
No, it does not.
Look over there pointedly, look back to the two of them. So they
Nakamura
follow.
Nods. Okay. So
and vis-a-vis these catwalks, tell me about the route to Uppies.
There is what looks like a staircase that winds. It goes up to a platform and turns and goes up to the next one. It looks like it has attachments built onto the side for some kind of rail system that it takes you for a second, Isaac, but to see that it looks like it is built in to allow and accommodate chair users and anybody who needs to attach and just kind of act as an elevator straight up. It looks like the power to this is also flickering. And it also, the steps to this and the platform, blessedly, are easy to see through. The catwalk does not look like it is made out of flat plates. You would be able to easily see somebody moving and walking around above you guys if there was somebody lurking above.
Are those stairs near to us?
I would say within short range, just a few meters away.
Okay. And where with respect to Swayfoot?
I'd say maybe about 10 meters.
On
to the right. So if the
which one do I hit first?
Yeah, you would hit the stairs first.
I'm trying to get to the stairs. I would. Okay.
Stairs would be first.
So I can take the upper angle if I would like.
Yes.
I would like.
Okay, you'll need to make another stealth check.
Okay.
Because the catwalk, as catwalks tend to be, not very quiet. So you'll...
No.
Okay. You, as quietly as you can, you move up those steps, but if nothing else, Isaac, you can take refuge in the fact that whether you're quiet or not, really, it doesn't matter. The door, everyone in the facility must have heard that door open. So when you get to the top, one thing that you will notice is that the person that leg belongs to, assuming again that it's still attached to somebody, hasn't moved. And you can get a little bit of a better angle looking down. You notice too that Nakamura has assumed a position like he's waiting for whoever that is to pop up the moment they notice that you're climbing up the catwalk. But the person doesn't move. When you get topside, looking down, it's shadowy, so it's very difficult to see what it is you're looking at. But there is an individual currently sitting on the other side of what appears to be some kind of a piece of tech that resembles a battery of some kind, perhaps a power source built into, it just looks like a piece of the heavy machinery that's built into this system itself to operate the machinery in here. You see them everywhere, backup power systems and whatnot. This one is just functioning as something of a cover for this person. But yes, it looks like an individual, probably judging from what you're seeing, maybe about 6 feet tall. And it looks like they're wearing some kind of fatigues. Their head is moving as well. Their head just kind of swaying kind of erratically.
I think Take's gonna motion to Nakamura if there is some sign for quiet, like no gunfire, like unless necessary. Otherwise, she will just kind of be like a gun, none of that. Like,
okay,
yeah, I'm sure there is. At one point, I looked up. I looked up military hand signs. Don't remember them, but yeah, she's going to indicate to him to like not unless like no gunfire unless absolutely necessary.
He nods.
I want to round. I'll send him the other way. I want to converge.
Okay. The two of you just move about. Isaac, you watch.
I'm looking for the second one as they do that.
Okay.
There were 2 chips here.
Okay. As you are looking for the second one, the two of you move around the side of this console batteried thing that's spread up out of the floor, and you see a individual wearing dark fatigues. It looks like a mishmash of fatigues, is wearing a helmet that looks to you like a UPP combat helmet. But the first thing that comes to your mind, Tig, as you see it, because you've seen many UPP combat helmets in your time, it looks like it is used and smashed up real good. Probably either this guy is not taking care of his uniform, or this is not, he's not the first owner of this. Individual that looks very pale is sitting in what looks like a small pool of blood by his side. There is a glistening wetness all over the right side of his fatigues. And the twitching is now accompanied by, now that you're close enough, you can hear subtle groaning. Just and his head's twitching a little bit. There is a weapon laying over here as well. It's about maybe 2 meters away from him. And it, judging from where it's just on the ground, that may have been where he was holding it when he dropped it. You can see a little bit of smearing on the floor as well, like he dragged himself over here.
Tig will ask if Nakamura, like, recognize him?
He's one of them. Not one of mine.
Tig's gonna make sure that weapon is. Actually, she's gonna pocket it. She's gonna strap that to her. She's gonna take it, and then she's gonna go in and do what she does, which is assess, triage.
Yeah, assessing the situation, find out what the heck is wrong with this guy. Okay. On that note, then, you are about to get a piece of equipment. He has a good old-fashioned AK-40-47 pulse rifle. This is the standard issue rifle for UPP soldiers. but just taking one look at him, the scruff on his face, and a few of the patches that he has on him that look like they are crudely made, everything in your body tells you he is not UPP. This guy is, so many weapons have been proliferating across the frontier. It makes sense that this is probably a pirate. I mean, you think of the enormous amount of people and casualties that took place during the colony and frontier wars. It's not unusual to see people like this who have probably gotten their hands on weapons from fallen soldiers or illegal trade. He looks like he is in really bad shape at first glance, Tig. If you want to make a medicine check, you can.
I do. Haven't made one of those in a while. Okay.
Yeah.
I've got 4, 5, and my med kit gives me a bonus of 1, I believe.
I thought medkit gave a bonus of +2.
Is it +2?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Well, then I will add 2.
It's like +1, but more so.
But 2 of them.
Cool.
Ooh, 3.
3 successes. Okay, 1 second. I'm going to make a quick roll here.
Rolling for the bacteria from the infection. Or the...
30. Okay. I'm actually rolling to see what his injury is.
Ooh.
Oof. He looks like he has taken a lethal injury to his gut.
Okay.
The gut wound on the critical hit table, just so you know, it is a wound that will kill you in 1d6 days. You're not entirely sure how long he's been lying here, but judging by the state that he is in, he's been here for a hot minute. And you can see that his fatigues, the Velcro has been torn open, and you can see what looks like a used med kit has been opened up and is laying out to the side. You see syringes that have also been pulled out. You get the impression immediately that he's probably tried to medicate himself. Why it didn't work or how he wasn't able to use it, you're not sure. But the open wound across his chest, it is not a gunshot wound, and it is not a knife wound. He's clutching himself, but you pull his hand away. He doesn't offer any resistance. You get the impression that he is a little delirious from blood loss at this point and in a bad shape. But as you pull it aside, Tig, because you were a Marine and you have seen some shit, you managed to hold it together, but I am going to give you a point. I'm going to have you I'm going to just give you a point of stress from seeing it.
I'll take it.
Something tore his guts away. There is, without extensive medical facilities, this is a dead man who has been dying for some time. And his torso, the lower half of his torso, is completely exposed. That hand was holding what he could in. And it occurs to you now that that syringe is empty, probably on purpose. He may have given it to himself. You're not sure, to try to numb the pain, but you don't see any sign. Guns don't do this.
Mm-mm. Okay. We need to keep moving, but this guy has answers. Tig's gonna do what she can to, if you want me to roll again, to like actually, she wants to make him transportable, and then she's gonna turn to Nakamura and say, I need you to take him back to Doc.
I will do my best. Are you sure you're feeling okay moving on without me?
None of this feels okay, so I think we just gotta do what we can. This man can tell us something, and if Doc can get him awake and alert at the very least, he will have information, because I'm sure you're aware she like looks kind of like, I think eye gets caught on that injury again.
Understood.
That's not what we thought we were dealing with. We need more information.
I will try. And he slides his gun back in and buttons it to his holster, and he goes,
But yeah, Tig's gonna get him move like transportable essentially to like if she can strap something over the gut wound, like whatever. So I mean he's going to be bad, but like
yeah, I mean Tig, really not having access to your med kit right here. I mean,
if he has a jacket, if he has anything she can pull off and like fully like just like basically strap around him just to like keep his guts in his body.
Yeah, you could use the lower half of his fatigues and pull those off of him, or you could try using the upper part of his fatigues, but your instinct tells you don't do that.
No, I think maybe she'll like cut a leg of the pants off or something and like it's just
strip it down.
We're keeping the guts inside the body. Basically.
They're called insides for a reason, it turns out.
Exactly. Yeah, this is what Tig does, is this part.
All right, let me check Nakamoto's strength real quick because he's going to have to lift this guy and drag him out of here as easy as possible. Oh yeah, Nakamoto takes off his security coat and just tosses it aside. And Nakamoto, for a middle-aged Japanese man, is clearly works out. You can see he's got some thick forearms as he reaches down and gently puts his arms underneath him and
Daddy
lifts the guy. Grunts as he lifts this man up. You can see Nakamoto strain a little bit. He says, "We shall take him back." And he turns and starts making his way quickly out of the room, holding this guy limply in his arms.
I'm also going to let Doc know over our comms that he should be expecting a patient, and if said patient does not arrive or arrives in worse condition, then I let him know that he should be on alert.
Okay. All right. So, Isaac, you see the exit of Nakamura and this injured pirate, and from your vantage point, you're not sure you see anybody else in this room. But you do know that there's another PDT chip activated in here.
Shouldn't there be two? Why would he be in Mother's system? So I'm going to be trying to look for two sources of PDT chip.
Okay. So
if I only find one, I guess that's its own kind of response.
So I guess what you guys would do is spend this moment kind of searching around the room to find the location of the one, possibly two PDT chips that are still signaled in this room.
Mm-hmm. And I have some nice high ground to try to, avoid overlooking things by overlooking.
I mean, the high ground, irritatingly enough, the high ground's not helping. I mean, it should help you spot a person for sure.
Right.
But because of all the shadows in here, it's still kind of playing havoc with a little bit of the ease in which to spot things. Mm-hmm. But you continue to move around with Tig on the bottom floor, sweeping that motion tracker as you move through here. Doc, a few moments later, you hear for the second time, a frustratingly loud door opening and closing. And a few minutes later, a urgent looking Nakamoto coming through the hallway carrying what looks like a man that is way more pale than any healthy person should ever be. He brings him towards the office area where you are, and losing a bit of his strength, finally sets him down and leans him against the wall and looks at you as you could tell Nakamoto is trying to get your attention as he's bringing this guy down and sets him up against the wall. The gentleman's head rolls back and you see he looks like he's a younger guy, maybe in his late 20s, bearded. His eyes are rolled into the back of his head. He's muttering something, but you can't make out what it is. And the wound, Doc, the wound is horrific. It looks like an animal wound of some kind.
Two questions.
Mm-hmm.
One, because Doc would have tried to find a way to ask Martha this before everything kind of went left, which is, would Martha have a way to clone a key card?
I would probably say yes, she would, but I would also rule that would probably take a hot minute. If you were trying to make a copy of a key card, I would probably make that an entire shift worth of an action.
Awesome. In that case, with the body Nakamura coming in with the body, I'm imagining that might be a good enough distraction for Doc to quickly swipe the card before going to the patient. I can try.
In the words of another GM, you can certainly try.
Okay, let's go.
So,
story point.
My favorite is that this is agility mobility.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
This story point comes from Aether Spoon.
Thank you.
Thank you, Aether. This genuinely would not be possible without you.
You don't know if it's possible or not yet. It's a
No,
contested
I just know
check.
the dice doc rolls on that check.
There's a lot of
It
Doc
does-
has a couple of panic die though.
It does sound like Doc didn't roll too good.
Oh, no, I haven't rolled yet. For a second,
okay.
I was just like, "Ooh!" But then I remembered that was Martha's character sheet.
Yes, that is true.
I went back to Doc, and I was like,
when it goes from woo to ooh.
Okay.
here we go.
Go ahead and make your check, your mobility agility check.
No fucking way. That's a 3 successes. I'm putting it in the chat. I don't know how that happened.
Plus
your ox point?
Plus the ox point?
Yes.
So 4?
Yeah.
Because I rolled 3 successes.
Oh, thanks, ox point.
I will also take a picture and put it in the chat.
Yeah. Let's go. The dice said today.
Let me
Yeah.
let me put it in the Street Punks chat so the audience can see.
Yeah. Yeah.
Goodness.
Oh my god.
That is
I cannot believe.
No one is going to have spotted you doing that.
Dice say my key card. My.
Where did you put that,
I
Noir?
put it
in the
in the
beacon chat. Oh, nice.
Yeah.
On the Street Punks Discord. Fair.
And
Okay.
in ours.
Okay. Cool.
Holy
Yeah.
Nice. Okay, so
I
thank
followed
you.
up. There's the one that I rolled.
Oh god.
Oh my god, let me get to this man.
Yeah, you just beat him.
Oh my god.
So neither Nakamura or Kelly is going to spot you swipe that card and stuff it in your pocket and almost panic speed. You just shove it in there. Let me help him.
Get out of my way, I'm a doctor.
Okay, Nakamura stands back and takes a couple of steps back. You do take a good look at it, and sure enough, it resembles a terrifying wound caused by ripping and tearing. Doesn't look like a weapon, and it doesn't look like a gun. I mean, shrapnel possibly, but there's no signs of metal. There's no signs of shrapnel. There's no signs of an explosive. You don't see any powder burns. You don't see any. There's no sign of like burn marks on the uniform.
I hate to do this to myself. I'm gonna add one more stress just because of the initial. This isn't what I think it is, and I'm gonna ask you, GM.
I did get a point of stress for seeing it, so.
I think that's valid. At this point, these characters of the crew of the Elios, in the strictest terms, it is very accurate to say you guys have seen some shit. And the brutality of this wound, it does immediately cause this surge of anxiety in you upon seeing it. How about instead of gaining a point of stress,
Okay.
I will waylay the additional point of stress, but I will ask for a panic roll.
That's fair. That's fair.
But do not gain an additional point of stress.
My panic roll is 3 + 3, and it says keeping it together. You managed to keep your nerve in check.
You rolled
barely.
6
You rolled
exactly.
6 again.
Oh my
on the
God.
dot.
That's like your third 6 in a row.
It's your third. Yeah, and so Doc, you see the wound, and the image of that thing peeking around the corner. You still see it in your head. In fact, Doc, in that moment, it never occurred to you until just this moment, as you flash back to being in that room before breaking in to confront Maitland. It occurs to you, perhaps your mind was trying to protect you the way the brain does from trauma. But it never registered suddenly as you remember the face of that thing, the elongated head, the great glass-like teeth, the second mouth as it crept around the corner. The way how similar that creature looked to the thing that caused you to freeze up in the sculpture on the ceiling. It just didn't click until now. And the implications almost send you into a spiral. It's almost as if you have one of those Cthulhu-esque awakening moments where you get a glimpse into a darker universe that you're not ready to look at. And it takes you a second, just the sight of the gut wound, the idea that this thing might be here in the facility. That there might be one, there might be millions of them. That could be all over the planet for all you know. They're like this feeling that you're being watched, this feeling that, no, you've seen this before. This is panic. You've medicated, you've helped, you've walked people through this. You know what this is. There is no evidence to suggest that that's what this is. This could have been the work of machinery. This could have been a number of things. You haven't seen any other signs. If these things were loose in the facility, everyone would be dead. So let's take a deep breath. The wound is lethal, Doc. He needs access to an auto doc and surgery immediately. And we're talking about a month on the slab recovering. This is going to kill him. And that means you would need to get him out to the Elios and into a medical facility. And that would remove you from the board as to what is happening if you wanted to take that action. But this guy is dying, and dying in one of the worst possible ways. You're not even entirely sure you'd be able to save him in the state that he is in.
Right. Martha, I'm going to need you to help me transport this young man to the Elios. We got a lot to save. That's what we're here for.
Martha just takes a look at him and goes, fuck. All right. We're going to step out. And she looks back at Kelly and Nakamura, who's covered in this man's blood. And Nakamura says, why? You should be here helping. Both of you. This man is dead. He's a pirate. He should die.
Because the light doesn't get to choose what it shines on. And I made a promise. This man ain't dead yet.
In a swift action, the sound of the gunshot erupts in your ears at a speed you did not expect to see from Nakamura. He quick draws that gun and sends a round into the guy's head. Allow me to remove your obstacles, Doctor. There's a smoking barrel, and the man is limp. Martha looks at him, and you can see Martha's hand slowly drop.
I'm just going to give Martha the dope. I'm going to close the young pirate's eyes. I'm going to walk to Nakamura.
He shakes his head, says, don't.
I wouldn't be able to inflict violence on you if I wanted to, and I don't want to. I will tell you this, though. If what I think is occurring, there will be a day, perhaps, where you find yourself in that young man's situation. I hope I'm not in a room with another man like you when that happens.
He gives you that same steely, unreadable, merciless look and doesn't say anything. Kelly, on the other hand, turns to his left and throws up. Braces himself against the wall. In the other room, you all hear a gunshot as you're searching around. Echoes down the corridor.
Tig is immediately on the comms report.
It takes a moment before you finally hear Martha come back and say, Nakamura just executed the pirate.
Martha, thank you for being willing to help me. I'm gonna just bring her in for a hug and slip the key card
Okay.
in a pocket and go, help me get these fuckers.
Martha does a good job not having seen this side of you before. You seem there's a brief moment where Martha almost gives the game up, and she just says, "We're going to be fine, Doc." And she pats you on the shoulder. Kelly comes back and says, "Oh God, oh, I'm so sorry. I've never seen that before. Fuck. I need to sit down. Fuck. Oh my God, did you have to kill the man?" Nakamura turns and looks at him and says, "Yes."
I'm sorry. That's not funny.
We need our medical practitioner to be unaffected by these ethical concerns. We need to prioritize our people getting them out of here. He was duty bound by his oath to help this man, and that would have put our people in further risk. Now the doctor is free of that, and we can continue.
You better hope.
Kelly just goes, "Okay, well, I'm going to see if I left a breath mint in my pocket in the office and maybe have a cup of water." The calm overhead echoing throughout the entire facility. You hear boom, 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 someone tapping on a mic. And Kelly freezes and looks up at the ceiling, and you hear a woman's voice go, "Is that you, Nakamura?" Echoes throughout the corridor. "You shooting my people again? How long are we going to sit here like this? Oh, I'm going to tell them everything. I'm going to tell them everything. And then I'm going to kill everyone in here. I know you've got it. I know you can help me. I'm giving you 1 more hour. And then I'm just going to start sending body parts your way. No one's leaving this facility alive if I can't leave this facility alive." Her voice takes a tone that sounds, you can't tell if it's the mic or her, but as it goes off again in statics, you see Kelly go, "What the fuck is going on?" He looks like he's on the verge of panic, and Nakamura says, "I don't understand. How does she know my name? Who is this person?"
Can I employ a talent?
Sure.
Can I let me know if this is feasible or not? I have a talent called group psychology.
Okay.
You understand what drives a pack behavior and how people tend to function in a group. With a successful observation check, you can predict the short-term attitude or behavior of a group of people. You get to ask the GM a question about the group, and they must offer you some insight, more detail with extra successes into what they are going to do as a group. Having heard her firsthand now, would I be able to observe anything, especially her intentions? I mean, she says she's going to start dropping bodies. Does it sound like she's somebody of her word in the sense that she will actually give us time, or did the clock just accelerate?
Okay. I tell you what, I'll let you have it if you spend another Ox point.
Oh, easy.
Okay. Yeah. All right. In which case, this one comes from Kerrigan29.
Thank you, Kerrigan.
Okay. You sit there and you think about what you just heard. Nakamura looking around and looks like he's trying to puzzle this together. Both of you, by the way, Tig and Isaac, you also heard, the whole facility heard what just happened. You are processing what you heard, Doc, and trying to piece together the stability of this person. And something about it something about her is very off. Something about her sounds... You would, if you had a medical journal in front of you and you were looking it up by the book, based off of your instinct and behavioral patterns, you would say someone has had a murderous psychotic break. You don't think you're hearing somebody in their right mind. Your impression is people are dying no matter what, is the impression you get from that threat from her. She sounds feral. Something is very off about it. She might be in a state of desperation, feeling like her back is against the wall. But your instinct, it fills you with dread. Martha's looking at you to find out what's going on in your head. Questioning gaze from her eyes as she stares at you, Doc, as you're thinking this over. But you have this deep fear based off your instinct that there will be no negotiating. She wants what she wants, and you're not entirely sure that she is going to let people live even if she gets it.
I'm just gonna look at Nakamura, and like the anger's gone from Doc at this point. Son, I don't abstain from violence because I'm a weak man. I abstain from violence because I'm a smart one. You just kicked the hornet's nest. You just killed a source of information that could have provided safety for you and your people. You have executed a solution.
We are wasting time.
We have lost more time because of your bullet than my mercy.
He turns to Martha and coldly says, "Get your doctor under control. There are hostages and people's lives at risk, and we are dwelling on a moment that was past."
No, you need to listen to me, son. Not everything can be solved by a soldier. Sometimes you need a doctor. You are aggravated the disease, boy. And you don't even understand what ails this place. It is more than just these pirates. So I'm going to need you to stop thinking you can solve everything with a trigger and listen. Please.
Doc, in that moment, as Nakamoto stares back at you, the second half of that information you're getting for the Ox point. In this moment of heightened emotion, as Nakamoto gazes back at you, you feel a gentle, subtle chill in the back of your neck as he stares at you. You couldn't read him before. You didn't have context on him. You tried when you first arrived. Everyone was very focused on Kelly. He's the executive. In this moment, though, as you meet the steady eyes of Nakamoto, it occurs to you, you are talking to a stone-cold killer who has absolutely no remorse, absolutely no hesitation. And your words to him passing right through. He couldn't hear you. He is on another frequency. You are looking into the eyes of someone who has killed in cold blood before. You can tell. You've seen it. And he just stares back at you. Says nothing. And in the background, Kelly, as he's coming out, looking nervous and situating his coat, just goes, "Okay. Well, what do we do?" the context given to you as you see the contrast between the two men, things start to drop into place for you. And Doc, you're suddenly not entirely sure who the monster is in this facility. The compass is spinning. It's no longer pointing true north. You guys were very focused on Kelly, but now you're not so sure. That is where we are going to stop tonight's episode of Beacon.
Stream's haunted. Stream's haunted.
So,
it's hard playing a pacifist.
Yeah, but then you get to drop those baller lines and knock me off my feet. So
don't worry. If you need to, I'll be happy to pacifist.
You really could. Oh.
Yeah. With a read on a story point spend, it means you get an auto success. Before you guys rolled against him, nobody beat Nakamura. But you catch a glimpse. You catch a glimpse this time. So with that, let's go ahead and do quick XP spends. For those of you who are here, you get 1 XP. Did you risk or sacrifice something to further personal agenda? I might rule that Doc definitely took a risk tonight, swiping that key card. Because now that you know a little bit more about Nakamura, it's unpredictable how Nakamura would have reacted.
Oh yeah, I think
you don't know.
Straight up shot me in the
well, I mean, it's hard to say, right?
Yeah.
Like it's hard to tell where Nakamura lands now. Like
you are a doctor, and that is useful to him.
Yeah, you guys are on the same side.
Wrong. It has to be.
Yeah. Did you risk your life for a buddy or PC? No. Did you challenge or stand up to your rival PC? No, nobody stood up to each other. Did you make a panic roll? Yes, you did. You made a panic check, which was kind of my backhanded way of awarding you an XP for a damn good voluntary moment of terror. Did you overcome a dangerous event through violent or non-violent means? Technically, no. Did you make a significant discovery or revelation? Duck, yeah, at the end you did, for sure. Yeah. Did you perform an extraordinary action of some kind? Not this time around. Although, well,
Martha beat.
I was going to say Martha's hack of Mother's console was pretty epic. I don't think that classifies as extraordinary action, though. I think that was just a good roll. You didn't earn any money, so that'll be it for the XP. So back next Monday night for the next chapter and what's unfolding here on Jinx Colony. Didn't get a lot of answers this time. More questions.
But
the picture is definitely starting to develop that there is a lot more going on here, and not everybody is who they seem to be. So we will pick this up next Monday night for the next story of the crew of the Elios. That's going to do it for us. Thank you so much, as always, to our supporters, the folks on our Discord, all the people that support the Stream Punks and have been supporting us this whole time. Thank you, of course, for your story points, for the high tier supporters. We appreciate you, especially because you are literally saving lives of some of these characters. So thank you. We will be back next Monday night. Until then, this is the crew of the Elios signing off.
Help us.